Hello, Julie here and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I am doing the ABC challenge, ABC April, and of course today is Tuesday the 15th, so it's M Day today. We've got Masterboards, Mixed Media, Memory Keeping and Mitre. I'm going to do a Masterboard, so I'm currently working on my Delightful Daisies journal, and this is it here. It's just the signatures at the moment. I have got some other embellishments that I've created, but I'm trying a new system where I don't bind my signatures into my cover until I've finished the journal actually, and then bind them all in together so that, see how that goes. Anyway, I digress. I'm going to make a masterboard, and I'm going to use these scraps from pieces that I have cut up out of the Delightful Daisies kit. I have also got some music sheet there, and I've got this glue paper. I'm going to use this for a glue paper, but I'm also going to include that in my masterboard. For my backing, I'm just using a sheet of cardstock. This is like a cream cardstock, and I'll be attaching my papers to this. There's a smooth side and a more detailed, or like, I don't know, I suppose you can see that there, can you, that texture in that. I'm just wondering whether I'd put the pattern paper on this side, because this smoother side would be easier to write on. The reason I'm using cardstock is so that when I cut my masterboard up, I don't have to back it, and it's going to be sturdy enough to hold its shape. Alright, so having said that, I don't really want to cover that side up. No, I'm going to put it on the smooth side. Alright, now there's a couple of different ways you can do your masterboard. You can use straight edges, or you can tear your edges. I think I might tear my edges, but I'll keep straight edges around the edge, of course. And you can ink or not ink. So do I want to ink? Inking makes your joins stand out more. Yes, we'll ink. So if I ink as I go, it probably won't be so daunting. Now I'm going to use glue stick. I'm not a big glue stick fan, but I'm going to do it for this. Everybody else uses glue stick, so let's hope it works, eh? And line that up with my edge and attach it down. I'll burnish it down with my bone folder. I've got some of this paper here. That goes that way, and that can go over there like that. Ink this edge. The other edges will probably be covered up. It goes that way. I'm not sure I've got that level there. If it's not level, it doesn't really matter, because I can always neaten that up if I go over the edge. So what I might do is I might put this on fast forward with a bit of music, and because there's not really that much to say about creating a masterboard, is there? You can, it's pretty straightforward. And yeah, so I'll go ahead and put this on fast forward, and when I've got the masterboard finished, I'll come back and we'll create something using the masterboard. Okay. Okay, so there we go. I've done the collage now, made the masterboard. I'm going to trim it down so that all the edges are level, and then I'm going to let it dry a bit. Then I'll be back and we'll create something using it. Okay, so I thought that I might just embellish my masterboard a little bit. So I've got some fussy cuts from the kit and I've inked around them, and I'm just going to attach them to the page. You can, your masterboard can be whatever you like it to be. You can add embellishments or not. You could leave it just plain so that then you can add your embellishments after, like after you've cut your masterboard up, when you're making your little bits and pieces using it. But I thought that if I stuck these on now, then when I cut it up, because I'm just going to turn it over and cut it up, I'm not going to know what I'm cutting up as I'm cutting it up. Yeah, I thought it might be a little bit more interesting. Bit of fun. So I'll just go ahead and stick all of these down, and then I'll set that aside to dry, and when it's dry I'll come back. So you can see that you could get lots of different looks with your masterboard. If you didn't ink it, it would look completely different as well. If you don't add the embellishments, it looks different. You could put other embellishments on here as well, like you could put lace or ribbons, or you know, all of those, everything. You can put everything on there. So there we have our embellishments, well, our fussy cuts really. They're fussy cuts from the kit. They're all stuck down there firmly, so I'm just going to give that a bit of time to dry and then I'll return. Okay, so now I'm just going to turn this over and I'm going to cut out. So firstly, I'm going to make some tags, and I'm going to make them 3 inches. Is pretty narrow, isn't it? So I'll make 3.5 inches. So 3.5 inches, and my paper is 12 inches by 12 inches. And because I've got quite a few layers of paper there, I might have to run over my cardstock a few times. And I'm going to cut these down to 6 inches, so that will give me 2 tags that are 3.5 by 6. That's those. Actually, they could be a bit taller, couldn't they? So how much does that give me left? 8.5. So let's cut 1 inch off of that. Now, you could make this into a ruffle, or you could just use it as like a little embellishment, you know, a strip. So you might be decorating this and you might put a strip on there, make labels out of it, whatever. So how wide did we make this? 7.5. Okay, so I'm going to make some journaling cards, so let's make them 7 by 4. So I'll cut the rest of this at, because it's 12 inches across, I'll get 3 4-inch pieces. Okay. Now we can choose to turn these into journaling cards or tags, whatever we like. So let's have a look what we got. So there we have that. And that. Now you can see the writing's going sideways on this. I'm not worried about whether the writing goes sideways or up and down. Doesn't make any difference to me. Okay, so get my corner rounder, and I'm going to make one of these a tag and one a journaling card. So let's round the corners on this one. This will be our journaling card. And of course, because I backed that onto that cream cardstock, we've got nice area there to write on. This one will turn into a tag, so I'll just round the bottom corners and use my little tag thing here to cut the tops. Might use that one. So we just line that up there and there, and then use our scissors to cut along the edge of that. Flip it over and do the same on this side. So that's a tag. Now we've got 3 bigger pieces here. I'm going to make one of these a tag, or at least one. I don't know whether I'll make one or two a tag. So I'm using my bigger angle on this one. So you can see on the card there are all different angles. So we've got small, this is the smallest, next, next and biggest. And I'm also going to round the corners on this. I do like my tags to have rounded corners. It seems to make them go into your pockets easier, in my opinion. So this one is going to be a journaling card. And this one, I'll do that way and make another tag. There's not a great deal of difference between a journaling card and a tag. The only difference really is the shape. If you cut the tag shape in it. Generally the tags will have, you know, a hole up here with something tied in it, or a tab at the top. But you can also put tabs on your journaling cards. I've done that before. Okay, so out of our 12 by 12 masterboard, we've got 3 tags and 2 journaling cards of varying sizes. So the larger ones are, what was it, 4 inches by 7.5, and the smaller ones are 3.5 by 6. And we've also got this 1 inch strip that we can use either as you know, elements in our decorations, or we can cut them into labels, or we can turn it into a ruffle, you know, fold it and turn it into a ruffle. Anything that you use strips of paper for. Okay, so let's decorate a couple of these. I'll do these two. I'll do these off camera. First, before I do anything, I'm going to take them to my sewing machine and stitch around them. Okay, so I've stitched all around those. They're all done. And the 1 inch strip, I creased that first and then stitched it into a ruffle. So I'll use that in the decoration of these two. So first of all, let's do the big one. I'm going to start with some cheesecloth. I'm just going to put something down the bottom here. I'm quite happy with that, the way it is. And I actually think I just want something quite small down the bottom. So let's just fray a bit of this out. Oh, I should have inked around my tags while I was off camera. I'll do that. I'll do that quickly now. It won't take me long. Rightio, so we're going to put this here, and that is going to be there, and I've got more fussy cuts here. There's heaps and heaps of them in the kit, so let's have a look what we've got here. Maybe could go for something like that, but that might be a little bit too big. That's just a little picket fence. Looks quite good, doesn't it? And we've got, do we want a coffee cup? No, I think the picket fence, I'm quite liking that down there. Now, do I want some sort of label or something there? Probably don't need one quite that big. Maybe something like that. Move that up a little bit. Drop that down a little bit. That will stand out nicely when it's inked. About this shape. Yep, I like that one. All right. So let me ink around those. I might just do a little stamp on this. Might use this stamp from Witchcraft Do You Do. Quite partial to numbers lately. Let's see what numbers we've got that will fit on there. This number 291 probably will. Yep, perfect. Do I want to do it in black or brown? Let's do it in black. I've got this VersaFine Onyx Black. $291. You can just stay on there for the moment. Get rid of that. Okay, so let's begin to attach these. Right, now up here we can use our whale tail punch and put a tag on there, or we can put an eyelet. What should we do? I think we'll put this whale's tail tab on this one, so let's get some paper and punch one out. Ink that. Okay, so let's stick that on. Like so. I'm trying to line that up so it's fairly centrally, maybe a little bit that way, and level here and here. Find my bone folder. I was looking for it earlier and I found it in the rubbish bin. I'd picked it up with a whole heap of, well, I picked it up with the scraps from when I was creating the mood board, or Masterboard should I say. So yeah, lucky I was looking for it, because otherwise I would have emptied the bin and it would have been lost forever. Okay, that's that. Now I think we still will put a eyelet on this. So I'm going to put an eyelet in the tab. There. And I've been using gold in this journal, so that's my eyelets. These are eyelets. So I'll go with gold again. I'm loving these eyelets with the rings on the back because they look so much neater on the back of your tags and things. So now they are actually just a little fraction bigger than the hole that the crocodile makes. So just have to make that a little bit bigger before I put my eyelet through. There we go. Very good. Now I have got some dangles that I had made previously. I'll just grab those. There we go. So there's a bit of an assortment in here. Some of them, like this, I have stamped and fussy cut and then added, you know, whatever to that. Some of them I've used like this little ball chain. Some of them I've used jump rings. Some of them I've used ball pins. So let's have a look. What do we want to put on this? Some of them are just something like that. Or we could go for something simple like that on there. We have got that. Quite like that. Oh, it's on silver though. Could put that. That's quite nice. Fairly neutral, so let's do that. We could just use that one. Doesn't have any colour in it. Put those two together. Let's do that. So to attach those there, I'm going to need jump rings, so I'll grab one of those. Okay, I'm going to use a bulb pin. I call them bulb pins, some people call them gourd pins. Okay, so we want that first. Then, oops, come back here. First, then this, and then through there. So I've got a video showing how I created these dangles, so I'll pop that in the description box if you're interested in seeing that. So I'm going to call that finished. So that's one tag. Now we'll do a smaller tag. Perhaps we might use, well, that blends in a bit too much on there, doesn't it? So use a bit of lace on this one instead of the cheesecloth, because we can see through the lace very nicely. Yeah, put that. I'm going to put that all the way down there. I'm going to cut that off about there. I'll trim that off there, or even leave it there. It doesn't really make much difference. So that can go there like that. And what should we put on this one? We don't really need a lot, do we? I've got these photos that I got as freebies in a an event over in Junk Journal Fix with Sunflowers and Doors Facebook page. And let me have a look. Her on there like that, or do we want something that's a bit smaller? It's about the same size, isn't it? We could put a man on there. He's a bit smaller. Yeah, I think I like the bit smaller one. And I want a label or something coming out from that. Actually, right, I've got some small journaling cards. Sorry about that clang. Go with this one. And I'm going to put him on top of that and put that there. Is that too big? Is that too big now? Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Okay, let's ink around him to start with. He's got a little white frame around him, which is actually getting completely covered up with the inking. That's there. Perhaps do I want to put that on there but trim it down so it's only like that? Could do that, couldn't I? Okay, so yes, I do like that. Okay, so let's mark that there and there and trim that down. This has got rounded corners, so I'll round the ones I've just recut. Now, where's my photo gone? We'll use this one. Like that corner, not rounded like the others. It's better. It's not as not perfect, but it's better. And attach that to the backing. Okay, let's attach this along here. Right, now this can go on here. I might pop it over there like that. And I wanted a label to go on there, didn't I? Something like that. And I think I'm happy with that actually. I could stamp on there if I wanted to, shall we? Let's stamp that same stamp, but do it in brown this time. There we go. Okay, so before I do anything else, I'm just going to add a little bit of glue up along this top section of the lace. The bottom section will be held in place with the photo and the label. Now I'm going to put that there and that there, so let's attach this first and this one. Now for our top I'm going to do an eyelet on this one, so let's first of all I'm going to trim that off of there. You could leave it on there, but I prefer it to be the shape of the tag. Okay, now let's, this could be a bit tricky with the lace, punching through the lace, yeah. Anyway, we'll be able to push that through with our with our eyelet. And this time I'm going to put some ribbon in through my eyelet instead of a charm or a dangle. You could just put a charm on there, use a bowl pin or a jump ring to put just a charm hanging off there, but I'm going to do some ribbon this time. There we go. There we go. So now I'm going to just grab some ribbon. You can use any sort of ribbon. You can use sari silk, you can use baker's twine, you can even use it like lace, fine lace. Lots of things we can put through our Okay, so I'm going to fold that in half. I'm going to go through double. Still going to be excessively long, isn't it? Anyway, we'll do what we can do, hey? Now if I can find my tweezers. If you haven't got these reverse tweezers, do yourself a favour, as they say, and grab yourself a pair, because it's like having a third hand. Excellent. They are excellent. I'm going to poke that through there. If you wanted to add something to this, like a charm or a dangle, you could use a bowl pin and clip it through your ribbon. I've done that before too. So that's that. Now I'm going to cut these down a bit. Don't need all that ribbon on there. Okay. So there we go. So today we've made a masterboard, and then we've cut it up, and we've got a total of, what do we have? 3 tags and 2 journaling cards, and we've decorated 2 tags like that. Alright, so yeah, that's my video for today. This is for the ABC April. Okay, so my camera stopped recording. It stops after 30 minutes and doesn't give me any warning, but I had finished the project, so that was a good thing. So just recapping, this is for the ABC April. Today's the 15th of April, and the letter is M, and we created a mood board. We cut it up. We've made 3 tags and 2 journaling cards, and we've decorated 2 tags. So I will put links to the challenge in the description box, and I will also put links to where the video that shows how I made these dangles, and I will put links to the kit that I've used. This is the Delightful Daisies kit, and it's available in my Etsy and my Ko-fi stores. Alright, well, thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, I'd love it if you give me a thumbs up, and I will see you in my next video. Okay, bye.